Hey, how you doing? This is Sejihito here to bring you the news. So we're just going to hit the ground running. So it is 6:56 p.m. 1/28/2024. So the first clip that I have for you has a little bit of context to it. It says in August of 2020, Adam Huerta, the owner of Viking Car Wash in Tucson, Arizona, was caught on video verbally abusing an IHOP waitress, leading to backlash against the business. This video shows Huerta yelling at the waitress, provoked by a request for his son to wear a mask and issue with the meal service. Following the incident, Huerta posted an apology video on his business Facebook page, explained his behavior as a result of stress from his business troubles and his father's illness. Huerta asked people to stop leaving one-star reviews for his car wash, acknowledging his mistake but emphasizing that the video did not fully represent the situation. So let's look directly at that.
Shut the fuck up, bitch! Get the fuck out of my face! Get your dumbass bitch under control, do it that way. Maybe I won't fucking step on her.
We're gonna pack up our food, but I need the manager to know what happened. No, yeah, if all needs to go
Nah, why when you finally got her, you're fucking rude to my son? And you don't want me to be rude back? Bullshit! You said he needs a fucking mask.
Oh, yeah, because
The way you said it with your demeanor, you could just like, and a whole lot of other ways, and just whatever. Just get out of my face. I've had enough today, alright? Get out of my face. You want to bring me a bill, and I'll pay you for your fucking food. Do not put the appetizer. They came with the food. Appetizer, doesn't appetizer come before the food? Not with your food? I'm just saying. I know you ain't getting paid $50 an hour, but goddamn, it's not always about the money.
alright, sir. I'll get you guys a bill and
Yeah. And you can shut your fucking mouth too.
Okay, sir, I need you to stop talking to my circuit like that.
But then get me some bosses.
No, you're
I work hard for my money just like you do.
Okay.
And I deserve to have a decent meal.
Okay, you're on paying for your guys' bill. I just need you guys to leave. You guys take your food and you guys can leave.
So we were able to hear that. Hey, what's up, Tonda? So we were all able to hear that verbal abuse that took place to that waitress. This was during the pandemic, and you know how serious everybody was during that time. And again, notice the seriousness of then and the seriousness of now, right? And this dude who was a business owner, car wash, decided that he wanted to go in on this waitress because she spoke about the mask and the son not, properly doing this, and that. And then he was stating that, oh, it was the way of which you said it, your voice. But notice the voice difference. Notice who's the loudest specifically in the room. And it's always interesting to me that you'll have people when they get caught doing this, they'll say like, oh, this clip does not show the full totality of what took place and everything that was said. No, it shows a lot. It shows enough, because realistically, at no point in time, first of all, if you're a dude and you do this in public, like I want people to pay attention. He directly called that woman a bitch out there in public. He don't know this woman. Not saying that I'm condoning these types of things. If you know a woman, what I'm stating is he completely called a whole nother woman out of her name, of which he don't even know. So if he's willing and able to do that to a whole nother woman, now I want y'all to note his significant other is sitting right across from him. And not only that, it gets worse because his child is sitting right there. And his child is a son. Child is a boy. Soon enough going to grow up into a full man. So what do you think that child is going to sit up there and do watching his dad in public call another woman directly out of her name? He's going to sit up there and do that at home first. And he's also going to sit up there and do that to other women out there in society. But like I said before, when it comes to the complexions of certain people that do these types of things, people don't really have smoke. Nobody has that type of energy. Nobody is, trying to specifically criminalize, villainize, or talk about these types of things. Nobody wants to highlight these types of actions from other people who don't look black. And like I said, this is a two-parent household, right? The mother and the father is there, and this is how they sit up there and act. Now, and the reason I say act in two-parent household is because the mother, again, is right there. She's a woman at the end of the day. She could have stopped her husband, baby daddy, whoever that dude is. And she could have told him like, yo, you don't do that. Right? You could be mad, you could be frustrated, but you don't call another woman out of her name, and especially in my presence, especially in the presence of a child. She didn't do that. She was complicit in those actions. She agreed with those actions. So again, when I tell y'all out here that there are women that are complicit with a man's actions, behind every great man, there's a woman. And behind whatever wrongdoing that a guy is doing, there's a woman that is protecting and supporting him. This is what I'm showing you. That woman is sitting there in silence, protecting that man, allowing him to raise his voice, get argumentative, doing all the things that he wants to sit up there and do specifically to that woman. And she is simply doing her job. And then not only did he just sit up there and go off on her, he started sitting up there raising his voice to a second woman who I'm guessing is the manager of the day. Two women that had to deal with, quote unquote, this business owner. He stated that, it was a stress of, having a business and my father's illness. Nah, that's not an excuse. You're going to use your father's sickness for the reason that you're going off? Nah. It's like if that was a child that did that, okay, no problem, because the child don't know how to manage their emotions and their feelings. You're a grown adult, more than likely in your 30s, almost touching your 40s. And you mean to tell me that you don't know how to manage your emotions to the point where you don't do stuff like this in public, and especially to women? That's crazy. And then you call yourself a business owner? That's crazy. And then you sit up there and get mad. And then you want to make an apology, half-ass apology video on your Facebook business page and tell people to stop giving you 1-star reviews. You earn that. If out of everything you ever did in your life, other than start that business, you earn all of those 1-star reviews because this is you at heart. Like how some people sit up there and say like, yo, a drunk person, sober thoughts. However, the terminology basically goes. Same thing here. Allow people to be themselves and record it. That's what you're able to witness here. For this man to literally try to get on social media and state that, yo, this wasn't really me. You just caught me at a bad time. Nah. Because if you're really like that, if this was just a bad time, then how do you act any other time? Because usually when people can't manage their feelings or their emotions, it spills out like this continuously. And another thing why the woman over there is pretty much in silence is because this is probably something that she's seen. But she's going to stay silent because it's not her. Right? And a lot of women will do that. They'll be like, you know what? I'm not sitting up there taking a brunt of this. This don't got nothing to do with me. I got a break for today. I'll let you sit up there and deal with what I have to sit up there and deal with. So, like I said before, hey, this is the society that we are in. I would love it if, people would just, use that equality that everybody says that they want and start talking about these situations in general. Instead of just trying to make it seem like it's only one group of people specifically doing these things. And I'm also stating that because I watched a 7-minute video on Twitter, and I do have that video of a group of individuals, and they were talking about extermination. They were talking about black people in general. They were talking about trying to deport black people. And a lot of things, right? A lot of things. Some of which I really could not, in a sense, put up on a YouTube channel because it will more than likely get, taken down. And not taken down because people dislike what is being said, but it's going to get taken down by those who don't want that information to be specifically out there. But like I said, this is why I love Twitter, because you have an area where you can go and you can watch and let people be themselves. Free reign to be themselves and to say and do any of the things that they want to do. Now, that one part that I just listed is going to come up at the tail end, of this live stream, but we're going to keep going with a few videos here, right? So let's go to this next one, which is quite crazy.
Imagine having dinner with me, 9-figure entrepreneur, 22 years old. And about 10 minutes ago, I told him, I'm going to take him to dinner if he cuts his hair. This is what he looks like as well. And now I told him, I'm going to coach him to do business for free. Now, if you want me to have a positive influence on your life, and by the way, comment in the bottom. Does he look better before and after? Like, comment, share. I want it. Make sure you share the link. Make sure you follow me. Go to my profile. Click on the Zoom as well. Ahmed, you're 22 years old. We're about to do some deals together. What are you thinking right now?
Excited. I'm happy.
Well, this is what happens. Short-term sacrifice, long-term benefits as
So a lot of times we talk about black people not having enough knowledge and self-hatred and all of those things, right? And and a lot of times it's not that difficult to actually point the stuff out. But you really want to look for some concrete type of evidence. This will be that. So below you see what the brother looked like. I'm going to say brother because I don't know lineage or anything else. I can theorize, I can guess, but I'm just going to go by what I'm able to see face-wise, right? So you see this melanated man in the lower left-hand corner. This is what he looked like with his locks. The other guy decided to state, yo, it seems like you have a good idea here. It seems like, I can help you do some things, but you got to do something for me first. And this is when I tell people that certain types of sacrifices have to be done in order to get the things that you want. So he decided to give something of himself. Now, in some religions, now I'm just paraphrasing here. I'm not being too specific or diving too deep. I'll allow that for everybody else to do. For certain religions out there, the locks mean a lot. Like it's not just a style. It's a part of everything, right? Whole belief system, everything. So to see this dude decide to cut something that he's more than likely been growing for some years takes a lot of work to maintain and keep that up. His look nice, look cool, look dope. It's not looking out of range or anything like that, right? For you to sit up there and decide that you're going to listen to somebody else to tell you to basically cut your hair in order to do business, for me, that's crazy. Because do you really think that person will be willing to give up or sacrifice something in order to basically work with you? Chances are no. Even if you did have something of value for them, chances are no. They're not going to sit up there and do it. They'll be like, I'll wait for the next train. It's like, yeah, you know what? You got a good deal here, but I'm not about to give nothing up just to, be able to work with you and potentially have something happen, right? Now, again, the guy here is a self-proclaimed millionaire, right? All over his TikTok, he shows all of these people that he's basically worked with and all of this stuff, right? But I find this always interesting that when it deals with people who are melanated, you are supposed to give up something. Especially if you got hair, if you got like locks or braids or something like that. Oh, you know what? In order for you to work here, in order for you to do what it is that you need to do, you got to cut your hair. We need you to modernize your hair. Your hair has to be more American. It has to be so. Like I said, I'm just trying to wrap my head around what does learning information have to do with hair? Because I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything at all. And this is the same exact thing that I've done videos on before, where you've had black kids in schools and they've either had designs in their hair, they've had braids, they might have had coils or twists, they might have had locks. Any which way that it basically goes with black hair, somehow, some way, somebody has a problem with it. And black people have to be the ones to compromise and do something about the issue that is making other people uncomfortable, which is crazy to me. Because the other funny thing about that is that when other people who deem black hair or black styles to be a negative, right, they demonize it, vilify it, they turn around and then wear those same styles and everybody's like, oh, that's a dope style. That is so beautiful. That looks great on. Amazing how that works. Black people can sit up there and make it hot, but we're not meant to basically keep it. It's meant for everybody else to take and use. That's all I'm seeing and understanding. Because like I said before, it's a little bit weird to me that in order to basically work with said millionaire, as a black man, you had to basically cut your hair, and you did it. I'm guessing he was like, you know what, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Hair is just hair. I can sit up there and grow it back at any time, but this is just a once in a lifetime opportunity for me to, X, Y, Z, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm going to stress this like other people have stressed it. This is why it's very important or at least to have some black people out here that are willing to get in contact with and work with black people, and especially the younger generation. Because the moment in time that we lack to do this, this is what happens. They have to basically sacrifice and do all of these other types of things that they don't necessarily have to do if they were dealing with us. I can't specifically, unless the dude is like ridiculously conservative in thought, I can't list you a black person out here or like a millionaire that would be like, yo, in order for you to get information from me, I would need you to cut your hair. That sounds crazy. Are we in the military right now? Are we in a private school? Like, what are we really doing at this moment in time that you need to specifically cut your hair? Is that a battlefield? Is the business field out there? Is corporate really a battlefield like that where businessmen are going to just come pull you by your hair and just, automatically end you? Like, what? Like, am I missing something? But like I said, this is what that lack of knowledge, that lack of history, right? That someone like to say, that lack of love, for self. That's in a sense what that looks like. And then from a different perspective, people will be like, why are you worried about it? Because that's another person's hair, that's their body. They can do whatever it is that they want to do with it. And two things can be right at the same time. That's all I'm saying. Two things can be right at the same time. I'm not saying that he can't sit up there and do it, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to specifically blame the guy on the right side of the screen. All of the blame is directly on him. Because that man decided to cut his hair. That man decided to listen to another man. That dude decided to sacrifice what he grew for so long to maintain and take care just to do this. Like I said, hopefully it's worth it. Hopefully all of his endeavors, hopefully the knowledge that he gets, hopefully it is very much worth it. Because if it is not, I don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to tell you. That is crazy. 100% crazy. Like I said, I don't know what to tell anybody. And for anybody else out there, if it's a moment in time that you, in a sense, have to sacrifice a piece of you, don't matter what it is, in order to get somewhere, I'm not going to tell you not to do it. I'm just going to say that I hope it's worth it. I hope what you are willing to give up matches whatever money value that is going to be given to you. And not only that, there's going to be other costs that are going to come directly with that as well, because always with money, there is an abundance of unforeseen costs that people don't realize because they don't read the fine print. So yeah, for this one instance, he cut his hair in order to work with this millionaire. But in order to work with more millionaires, what are you going to have to do? What are you going to have to sacrifice? What are you going to have to sit up there and give up? And it's going to be more than just hair. So again, I'm not going to tell people what not to do. I'm just going to hope that it's worth it. I hope that you weighed the pros and the cons. I hope you know what your number is. That you was like, hey, 20 million, 10 million is basically, I'm out of here, right? Hope you got that number like Dave Chappelle said. Hope you realize and know what that number is. Because the cost is going to get higher and higher and higher, and then you're going to meet that ceiling. Then once you meet that ceiling, you're going to have to do something real tough in order to make it above that ceiling. But let's go to the next video.
Recently, who tried to take me on a date, and he's like, yo, I only take women on coffee dates. It's an immediate no, lose my number for me, because I appreciate
It's taking to Starbucks?
And it has
like one coffee spot in the world with Dunkin' Donuts?
It has nothing to do with how much money you plan to spend on me. It has everything to do with you telling me that I typically take women on dates. I'm not a typical experience, baby, and I need you to see that out the gate. Even if that's what you typically do, don't tell me that that's your typical behavior. behavior. I'm not interested in nothing typical. I'm a 1%er in all around, like in what I earn and what I do. Don't tell me about no typical shit. Did you do your due diligence? There's nothing typical about how I live my life. I don't put anything typical out there. Why would you tell me about what you typically do? Go ahead and typically lose my number. That's not what I'm interested in. Now, you could have taken me on that coffee date and you could have made that feel real exclusive for me, and I would have been happy about that. I don't need to know what you do for everybody else. I'm not that.
So we heard that, right? She said that she is not the typical, nothing about her is typical. I'm going to tell you the one typical thing that she consistently showed throughout that 1 minute and something seconds, that attitude, that mouth, that is typical. That is real typical. All of that aggression that she was giving off. And note, she's on a podcast. She's talking to other guys that have nothing to do with the situation. But you can hear the anger coming directly from her, which makes no sense. You can hear the attitude coming directly from her and also showing on her face. It makes no sense. That guy is not there. So why are you still heated? Why are you so angry about that? You're mad that the dude told you what it is that he normally does for every other woman out here, but you feel that for whatever reason, something about you, you're special. You're different from every other woman out here. You can carry a baby just like a woman. You got a body just like a woman. You were born a woman, right? You got womanly parts. Go through the bleeding once a month, right? You got all of these things, but you're trying to say that you're specifically special. Something really about you is something special that no other woman is out here able to do. And then she wanted to also talk about, again, how rich she is. She was like, "Yo, nothing about me is typical. I'm a 1%er." Now, no, I want y'all to understand these are the talking points that guys have normally stated for the longest time possible. Because guys are like, all right, well, in order for me to prove that, I could be a potential partner for this woman, I can basically support her. I have to lead with my accomplishments. I have to basically let her know, like, okay, these are the 18 degrees that I got. I got like $19 million like held in, a Swiss bank, and I got 5 million liquid, and I got all of this and that. That's why guys normally sit up there and talk about those things. Lead with that first to let a woman know, like, hey, this is what I'm able to do for myself. So I'm obviously able, if I could do this for myself, I can obviously do this for you as well, right? That's basically what that main conversation is. What she's saying about herself, she's a top 1%er. She makes this, no dude cares. That's not attractive to a guy. No guy cares. It's great. You got some accomplishments for yourself. That's not going to do anything for the relationship. That's not going to move a marriage. That's not going to do nothing. But like I said before, the one typical thing about her is her attitude, is the aggression, is her mouth. You're mad about a guy. Out of all the guys that you've dated, you're really fixated and mad at this one dude. Because he said that he takes every woman to a coffee date. Wow. And again, this is case number one of why you have a lot of women out here that are single. This is exactly why. Exactly why. Like I said, case studies. But we're going to go to a very interesting video that I actually just came across. So I want y'all to pay very close attention to.
I do not consider this the United States, and I don't give a shit what anybody says. This is our land. We did not cross no borders. This was promised to us.
Right.
This is our land. So by reparations, we need our land back. You can go now. So if anybody's going to speak up about that, though, that would be a big part of our reparations, not just money, give us money. And then what are you going to do? Spend it. And then what are you going to have left? That was part of their agreement when they made all these agreements with indigenous tribes, as well as the North American Indians, which aren't separate from us. They're the same. They said they offered them money, minuscule amounts of money for their land. And they were conned into doing these things, bro. And they turned us against each other. They made us worship all their shit. They cut us. Like I said, they used to cut off our piochlis, our warrior braids. They put us into their indoctrinational system of teaching us these things that we're going to consume our spirit and consume our lives, bro. Such as our dietary law that they told us milk is good for your body and all this, and you got to learn this, and you have to learn our language. You got to learn Spanish. You got to worship these idols. You have to do this. And they robbed us of our prayer. They robbed us of our dance. They robbed us of our history. They robbed us of our complexion, of everything, bro. You know, so reparations should come with speaking about getting our land back.
So we all heard that, right? We all heard that, right? And just like other people before me have stated, isn't it interesting how when black people start highlighting and talking about stuff, everybody else want to start getting in and start talking about it when it seems like a little bit of movement, a little bit of tension is directly on something. Ain't that amazing? Ain't it funny how it worked? The moment in time that black people been talking about reparations, been trying to get stuff moving, everybody was like, no, 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 you don't deserve this, you don't deserve that, you're not going to get nothing, you're not even from here. All like people want to say all of these other types of things. But then behind all of the things that people are saying, now everybody else is like, yeah, we deserve our cut. Us Italians, we deserve something. Us Latins, we deserve something, right? You got Scottish and the Irish, we deserve something. Asian Americans, we deserve something. Ain't that something? But ain't nobody trying to tell them to shut up or to just pull yourself up by your bootstraps and to do this and to do that. Now, remember what he said. He was like, yo, they forced us to sit up there and cut off our warrior hair and all this. Wow, that sounds like assimilation. That sounds like the same things that black people have been going through since the inception of this country. Wow, ain't that amazing? Wow, it was like listening to that. It was like hearing a lot of the stuff that elders have been saying for the longest time. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. But like I said, notice how nobody is telling this dude to shut up. Notice how nobody is telling this dude that he's American, that he needs to pull himself up by his bootstraps. He needs to stop begging. He needs to stop doing this, and nobody has money for. Notice how you don't have people coming against him. And what I mean, people, when black people speak on this, you have everybody. It don't matter what ethnicity, it don't matter where they come from. Some people are just getting here from other places in the world and then jumping into the conversation, telling black people, oh no, you don't need reparations. That's free money. I'm a refugee. I'm this, I'm that. I just got here and I formulated a business. I dug in the dirt and I got what it is that I was able to make for my family and yada, yada, yada. So if I can do it, everybody can do it. Nobody deserves free money. Everybody needs to work for what it is that they feel that they deserve. If not, just get a job, right? That's what a lot of people want to sit up there and say. That's what a lot of people want to talk. But not looking at the fact and also missing the fact that they don't have the same history that black Americans have in America. But yet you feel that you have the right to speak on a conversation that has nothing to do with you. That's like me specifically going to somebody else's country and speaking on their government, speaking negatively, regardless of whatever their president or dictator is doing. That's like me going specifically to their country, protesting and speaking out against their government. How can I do that? I need to sit up there and just sit in that country, enjoy what it is that I came to enjoy, mind my business. Because at the end of the day, that's not my country. Those are not my people. That is not my government. Even if I were to sit up there and live in a whole nother country, maybe for 7 to 10 years, that's still not my government. That's still not my people. I'm still on somebody else's land in somebody else's country. These problems that people have with their government, that is their problems. If you are from somewhere else, I don't care if you got here 60 years ago. If you are from somewhere else, do not speak on what it is that black people go through because you have not been here. You do not have the tenure. You do not have the seniority to speak on the history or any of the things that black people had to face and go through directly in this country. You do not. Nor can you decide to put your nose into any type of arguments or conversations specifically and around reparations. You don't have the tenure. You don't have the bloodline. You don't have the history to do any of those things. Like I said, specifically and respectfully, stick to talking about your people, wherever it is that y'all came from. Speak about your government. Speak about trying to uplift them. Because I want people to realize at the end of the day, irregardless of whatever black people do, black people ain't running from America. We will complain. We will sit up there and argue. We will point out a lot of things, but we will still be here. Why? Because we know that this is our shit. So for anybody else, again, just getting here, I don't care if even if it was like 60 years ago, respectfully, talk about uplifting your people, uplifting your family, helping them out, doing those types of things for your people. Because again, everybody plays for home at the end of the day. I'm just trying to make this very clear for a lot of people. If I went to another country away from my family, I'm not playing for the home team of that country. I'm playing for the home team of my home. This is why whenever we used to have hockey games, if people used to actually watch hockey games, there used to be a guy on the Red Wings called Wayne Gretzky. Whenever it came time for a hockey game to be against, I think it was like the Olympics or whatever it was, he would go back and play for Canada. He's playing for home because that's his people. That's where his family, that's where he grew up. That's what he knows. Even though he plays for the Red Wings, even though he is a part of an American team, he's like, yo, this is a very important thing. I got to represent home. Like I said, people got to understand that. And a lot of people tend to ignore those things. You can have a lot of people that might be, in a sense, face-wise playing for America, but let it become America versus whoever, they're playing for their home team to represent them. At the end of the day, they're going to do that. And that's the same exact thing that everybody else should do here in America. And mind and get your noses and your minds out of black people's business. Mind your own. That's the main point that I'm making here. Mind your own business. Play for the home team. Worry about the home. Fix your government. Fix your land. Fix your people. Invest into them. Right? If you're over here from another country and you're able to make it, what you're supposed to do is help somebody else make it back home. Right? You left home because obviously things were not where they were supposed to be for whatever reason, and stuff just wasn't working out there. But for whatever reason, you came to America and everything worked out for you here. That's great. That's cool. Now take the money that you got and look back at your people and decide some people to basically help out. So instead of them having to make that sacrifice and that travel to basically come here in order to do what it is that you do and possibly not even make it, yo, sit up there and help out those people back home. That's what you do. Don't get online sitting up there boasting about your money and all this. Nah. What's a real boast is you sitting up there taking the American dollars here that's actually still worth something at this moment in time and using that to propel somebody else back home. That's what you do. You play for home. You play for home. But, like I said, it is what it is. It's very funny seeing people talk about reparations and wanting to bring this up. And I've seen a variety of faces up here that always told black people to shut up and that you don't deserve nothing because they're not getting nothing. Craziness at the end of the day. But let's go to another video. And this is one I actually just recently did a video up about, so we can just look at this again.
I hear this, but I'm going to tell you, because I love black men so much, stop wasting your time with black women. Stop. They not loving you. They not listening. They not willing to submit. They think they too independent to be submissive and be equal and be a companion and be a comforter and bring you peace. They think they too good for that because they mama told them to go get them a man with some money since they knew how to talk and walk. Go get you a white woman. She's going to get money, have good credit, come with a house and land and still be submissive. Go get you a white woman. Still be submissive. Sure is. They still gonna submit and still treat you and love your dirty jaws. Love you on your sweatiest day. And not talk about you to her other Karen friends. She's not gonna talk about your business. Go get you a white woman. I'm trying to tell you. Listen to me. Listen. Go get you a white woman. These black heifers don't appreciate you, you black king. Y'all don't want me because I'm too loud. Y'all don't want me because I'm too oversexual, but I'm submissive. I got my own money. I got my own this. I got my own that. I ain't got no fucking sense. But go get you a white woman.
So I use these things for a conversation piece. I would love to, know people's thoughts about what it is that she's. And no, this is a black woman that said this. This is not AI. This is not Chat GPT. This is not a bot. Because I know how a lot of people like to sit up there and say a lot of things, right? People are like, oh, you can't always believe everything on that. Like it's an AI world. It's this, it's that. No, this is real. I even went to the woman's IG page. This is real. Like I said, this ain't AI generated like some Taylor Swift type stuff. Nah, this is real. 4K. You're able to see and hear this for the first time. And you know, the interesting thing is when I go through the comments on the video, right? Let me go through. And the funniest thing is when let me show y'all something real quick. Hold on. This is why I love being a content creator in a sense, because you can do stuff that a lot of people don't know. Right? So let me just highlight this real quick, right? So the video itself, let me try to go back to the what's the duration of this? What's the full duration of this video? Okay. So let me see if I can get the image directly up here for you guys real quick, right? So this is the video. I think snapshot is right there. Yep. Right. So I'm going to show y'all these numbers, right? And this is for a very specific reason, right? So we can all clearly see this, right? This is how I know. So if people ever wonder why it is that I do certain videos and I don't do certain videos, I go specifically. Oh, also shout out to the 2 people that that unsubscribed, because I'm looking in the background. Shout out to the 2 people that unsubscribed because of that video. Make sure to also block me as well. Like I said, if you don't like the content, don't want to see it, make sure to block me as well. So out of almost close to an 8-minute video, the average duration was about 2 minutes and 53 seconds, right? So then I started going through the comments and I'm sitting up there looking at some of the things that, people have stated, right? So one person sat up there and said, did you ever think maybe she is often around other Black women and she is able to hear what they discuss or talk about? Did you ever think, just maybe, she knows Black women really well? And I'm just going to sit up and state this. I this is why I do the videos that I do, because I love it so much, because I know if people actually pay attention or not. I actually technically touched on that whole thing right there. And I broke it down to the effect of taking color directly out of there. And I was like, just focus on the words that a Black woman is saying. She's basically telling Black men, like, focus on the women that focus on you, that are actually interested in you. Or to put color back in there, Black men coming from a Black woman. Focus, instead of focusing on the Black women that are not interested in you, that don't like you at all, you're not even on their radar, focus on the Black women that actually are interested in you. Like I said, I tend to look at things from a different perspective, because I know the usual everyday things that people are going to say. Oh, it's a lot of self-hatred. She doesn't like herself. She doesn't know her history. Who raised, right? These are the normal things that people like to say, right? But people aren't looking at it from a whole different perspective, dealing with psychology, right? Because if she would have simply, let's say, said, hey, Black men, as a Black woman, I love and I care about you, stop focusing on, these types of Black women and focus on this, nobody would have been looking at her video. It wouldn't even have registered, nor would it have gone viral or been on anybody else's page. But because she addressed and said the things that she stated in the video, that's what caught everybody's attention. Like I said, people are not paying attention. In order to literally get information directly out there to people, you got to sit up there and say something in order to get that attention. And that's what she did. And I'm like, and I literally explained this, a few different ways in the video, but clear cut. Obviously, people don't stay long enough to, actually listen, right? Had another person say it. I would love to sit down with this chick and the site owner and discuss this topic separately and discuss/debate this topic. Colonialism is the only reason we're where we are now as far as love and whom we choose to love. Now, this is the thing that I've stated to people before. There's no reason for me to debate anything. I clearly stated that I'm looking at this from a whole different perspective on purpose, because I know what it is that people are going to state. And because people opt not to view something from a different angle, this is why people are pretty much running the exact same rat race, the exact same circle, because people don't want to look at things differently. People don't want a different perspective, a different viewpoint. Everybody feels that the way that they look at something is just the only way to sit up there and look at it, and there's no other way to sit up there and look at it. And I'm like, wow. So the only way to basically see the moon is the perspective of looking at it from Earth, right? But what if you were to basically show somebody a perspective of the moon from a different planet, from a different side, from a different light? But nope, they ain't what people are trying to sit up there and see. They only want to see the perspective from one way, and that's the way that they like it, right? Had another person, I'm trying to go down and find her comment real quick. This person, she got the picture. Let me just see if this is a woman here. Well, I'm going to say it's more than likely an AI image potentially. I'm looking at the hair. Yeah, I'm not sure, but you got a woman down here in the comments section. J Truth 6503 said, "Good for her. She's helping a lot of black women not become victims. More black men should go with white women. This is a win for black women." I'm like, how do we get here? Whenever there comes a point in a time that I put up a video, somehow, some way, somebody will decide that, yo, black men are this, black men are that. Anything that happens to black men that they're away from black women and young black girls is a positive for us black women, yada, 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 all this other type of stuff, rah, 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 ha, 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 right? And I'm like, wow, like, how do we get here? Like, how how did we get here? Like, she didn't, like, the woman in the video didn't say nothing negative about black men at all. Nothing negative. Didn't try to listen to those stats. Didn't try to sneak this. Didn't try to do nothing. As a matter of fact, like I told somebody in the comment section before, because I had to let somebody know, I'm like, oh, if you actually pay attention to what it is that she's stating, she actually talked about herself at the end of the video. She said that she is very submissive. She is this, she is that. But, she just, in a sense, lacks, a type of sense. Like I said, she was being honest about that. And even when I went through her social media, she was sitting up there saying that she's not trying to do a relationship or anything like that because she is unhealed and she still has broken parts of her. So you're dealing with a person that is able to at least understand that, yo, let me stay back from relationships because I'm unhealed, I'm broken. And that was that woman. The rest of her social media is all something I cannot sit up there and show on YouTube. It would get the channel potentially taken down. But again, she's on social media letting people know that, yo, I'm broken, I'm unhealed. This is why I'm not in a relationship. I'm taking time to myself to basically fix certain things. So this unhealed and broken person is looking at the perspective of what it is that black men are, in a sense, going through and taking it from their perspective, like, damn, that's messed up. It's like every single time you as a black man try to go out there and do X, Y, and Z, it ain't never enough. It's not good enough. People always telling you to step this up and step that up. It's like, yo, instead of trying to focus in on those women who are always trying to tell you that, focus in on women who actually appreciate you for you, who appreciate you for what it is that you do every single day, that appreciate you for being, present. Because like I said, when you go on social media, you don't hear that when it deals with the conversation of black men. You don't hear appreciation. You don't hear love. You don't hear acknowledgement. You don't hear respect. You hear disdain. You hear a type of loathing, a type of hatred, discontent, whatever words you want to sit up there and put directly out there. That's what you hear. So on top of the fact that black men are viewed as supervillains, predators, criminals, perpetrators, everything under the sun, now you got all this other type of stuff thrown directly on there. Like I said, as a black man that is a content creator, when you go out here, I'm telling people from personal experience, going out here on social media, it is a war zone. If you are a black man and you want to hopefully open up the internet and see something positive about black men, you are not going to sit up there and find it. It is going to be very far, few, and in between. even when you decide to specifically type some stuff in, you're still going to get, oh, this is this black father. He's hanging out with his kids. Then you'll sit up there and see several other stories that people just want to put directly out there going against that narrative of a black father being with a child. Just doing what it is that, in a sense, he normally does. So, like I said before, it's a bit of a war zone. Directly out here trying to find a lot of positive stuff without negative stuff creeping directly up there. And trust me, even if you train the algorithm to, give you positive stories about black men, you're going to inevitably run into stories or posts or whatnot or whatever, where it's going to give you a whole negative, directly on there. And like I said, it's crazy to see, some of the comments that I see directly in, the comment section. It's quite interesting. It is quite interesting. But like I said before, I understand why I see some of the comments that I see, because again, a lot of people don't like watching or staying through videos and trying to get a further context of things. Like I said, this is why I love YouTube. I get to actually see how much time people realistically spend on videos. Other people don't know, but I know. Any content creator directly out here, we all know how much time people on average spend directly on our videos. We got the analytics, we got everything. Irregardless of whatever people have to say, we know. So, like I said, gotta deal with the numbers, gotta deal with the facts where they are, and those are the facts. So, like I said, just look at it, from a whole different, perspective, right? Whole different perspective. So, last but not least. Oh, wait. Wow, that's funny. Tana said y'all couldn't see it. That is hilarious. But yeah, those. So during my whole rant, those were the numbers right there. Right, we got 781 views. We got the impressions. And then we got the average view duration. So, you got 781 people that watched. And, the average amount of those people sat up there and only watched it for about 2 minutes and 53 seconds. Yeah, it's like that. It'd be like that some days. Be like that. Like I said, I get it. It's not really that, interesting. It's, it is what it is. Is what it is. But anyways, last but not least, I want to, let me see, did I highlight all the videos I want to highlight here? Yep, highlight those. Now I want to sit up there and highlight this. I'm not sure if people have seen this, right? So I got some of the videos and stuff from like Nicki Minaj going in on Meg the Stallion. A lot of, the audio and stuff like that. I might, play that, during the live stream. But Nicki Minaj is basically called Meg the Stallion Bigfoot. Right? And some people like, I don't exactly see what the problem is. Let me try to see something real quick. What would Bigfoot be considered? What is Bigfoot? Because realistically, even if Bigfoot does look human-like, it does have some features that seems to be very primate-ish, right? They said on the Live Science website, Bigfoot or Sasquatch is a giant ape-like creature that roams North America. So you have Nicki Minaj, bloodline-wise, who is from wherever, not America. And then you got Meg the Stallion, who was here. Then you also have Meg, who is darker than Nicki. And then you got one woman calling the other woman an ape. I'm like, nobody finds this to be an issue. Nobody sees this to be a problem that you got a quote unquote black woman calling another black woman and a darker complected black woman an ape. And I'm just watching, like, I'm going through Twitter and I'm looking at all of the stuff, and it's just like a whole bunch of people egging this on. And it's both black women and a certain category of black men egging this stuff on as well. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, and black women don't realize that on top of the fact that you have enemies amongst yourselves, your best friends are also your enemies as well. And they're literally egging you on for entertainment to see both of you guys destroy each other. And I'm like, black women ain't taking notes on this? Black women ain't really paying attention to this online? Because I am. But I guess because I'm a guy, I can see this from a different perspective. I can see it a little bit differently because I'm not really in that, because I'm not a woman. So I'm not going to get emotionally entrenched, directly on one side or the other. Because realistically, I don't, in a sense, care. If it would have just stayed to like some whole other like rap type stuff, when it gets to like levels like this, that's when I start to care, because I'm like, this is real borderline here. This is looking real questionable here. Nicki Minaj, looking real questionable. Like I said, it's crazy. This is pretty crazy. But like I said, it is what it is. It is what it is. And the only people that can basically stop stuff like this from going on is black women. But black women ain't really even trying to stop it. They're egging this stuff on. They're literally taking sides on Twitter, on TikTok, wherever social media is. Black women are there. They're not sitting up here saying, oh, stop the violence. Stop black women fighting each other. You guys are both successful, both millionaires, both doing your own thing. Just squabble this out. I mean, not squabble it out, but just squash this whole thing out. Like, fine, y'all don't got to work with each other and all this other type of stuff, but don't do this. Because I keep telling people, it's like, yo, the moment of time that y'all keep letting stuff like this slide, it's just going to get worse. Like, all of this stuff that people keep talking about, like, oh, look at what black men sit up there and do to each other. Yeah, yo, look at what black women do to each other online. They tear each other apart. Like, you literally got black women that will fight other black women because somebody don't like said artist, and they'll literally start fighting. I'm like, what is going, like, why y'all way too invested? I'm like, yo, these are people that just don't got lives. I'm like, you are way too far invested in this. You're way too old to be doing any of this. Grown women sitting up there fighting over another woman's name. Like, that is crazy. That is completely crazy to me. Like I said, I don't even know what to even tell people anymore. But like I said before, stuff like this needs to get highlighted. There needs to be more black female content creators talking about this, calling this out. Like I said, people want to say that black men are colorist and texturist and all this other. So what is this then? What am I looking at here? You got one woman that's light, one woman that's dark. The one woman that's like calling the dark woman an ape. Now let Taylor Swift has said this about Meg the Stallion. Everybody would have been up in arms. Everybody would have been saying that Taylor Swift is a racist and all this other type of stuff, right? But nobody's going to keep that same energy when you see somebody that is, technically black saying this to another black woman. It's not, roughly in the same basis. It's not a form of hatred or self-hatred. Nothing. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So I guess it's only a negative if a dude does it. And then on top of that, let me just take it a step further, right? You had a lot of women that wanted to side with Meg the Stallion when it dealt with the whole Tory Lanez situation. It was like, Tory Lanez did this, Tory Lanez did that, all this other type of stuff. He right in prison, right? All of that stuff, right? And then they were online getting on people for making fun about Meg the Stallion situation, about getting, aimed at, right? But from what I'm able to see and gather online, I'm seeing another woman, Nicki Minaj, rap about Meg the Stallion's foot. Right? Isn't that the same incident? You're dealing with a domestic case? Right? You're dealing with a black woman that got harmed, that got aimed at. Life was potentially almost taken, threatened by a weapon. And then you decide to rap about said black woman's situation to make fun and light of their situation. And then on top of that, the fans of Nicki Minaj are also doing the exact same thing and laughing about it too. So I'm a little bit confused. I thought we were supposed to protect black women. I thought we were supposed to care about black women and the things that violently take place and happen to them. I didn't know that we were supposed to make light of the situation and make fun of it. And again, I'm going to list this again. You got a lot of black women online that are on Team Nicki Minaj. You got a lot of black men from a whole nother community, Team Nicki Minaj, and they're all making fun of a black woman that was aimed at. Just let that sink in for a minute, because last time I checked and I listened to other content creators that wanted to specifically speak negatively on black men, they all would say that black men are always justifying and not taking serious and always making light of the injuries or the harm that comes way to black men and young black girls, and always trying to justify it, always trying to find a way. But yet I'm looking at black women online and black men of a certain community making fun of a black woman's domestic situation that took place. And I'm like, wow, so much for black female empowerment, so much for support and love black women, so much for valuing black women, so much for believing black women. I'm like, wow. I'm like, that whole narrative that people like to say all the time, that just falls completely flat. And like I said, I'm watching this in 4K. I'm literally seeing this. If anybody, after the live stream, during the live stream, whatever you got, go online and just type in Nicki Minaj and start going through that Twitter feed. I'm not going to show Twitter feed up here because certain times you might have some OnlyFans stuff pop up, and yeah, I ain't trying to randomly get hit for some stuff I had no control over and didn't know that was there, so I ain't going to do that. But like I said, go take your time and just very easily go to X, type in Nicki Minaj, Meg the Stallion. You'll start seeing a lot of stuff basically pop up, and pay very close attention to those comments and to those profiles. Like I said, it's crazy. It is real crazy. Like, yo, it's madness. Real madness. So, moving on directly from that, something else that I want to talk about, something else that I've been doing for quite a little bit of time here, right? I know that a lot of people are not gamers, so people might not even understand any of this at all. People are gonna be like, yo, Seji, what are you talking about here, right? So this is childhood right here. This is a tweet that I saw directly up there. I had to capture that to talk about it because I know I got at least about 3 gamers somewhere in here, right? So some of y'all remember Yokai. Some of y'all remember Digimon, Monster Hunter, Tim. A lot of those television shows and a lot of those games, right? And people like those for various reasons, right? So you have a brand new game that I showcased to y'all on a whole nother live stream called Power World. Power World basically blew up out of nowhere. It did ridiculous numbers. If I can actually go, let me go to X real quick and let me see if I can get some numbers directly. The game has only been out for a little bit, about close to a week. I'm trying to see if I can get the numbers. On Steam right now, it is pretty much the most played game. They got 8 million people playing on Steam in less than 6 days. Right? They sold 8 million copies in less than 6 days of this game. That's insane. And the most unhinged thing that I've ever seen as a gamer, the most unhinged thing that I've ever seen in my life is to watch grown-ass men, I'm talking about basement incel dwellers, beard necks, directly in their basements, and they're literally crawling to Nintendo on their knees, waiting for Nintendo to unbuckle their belt and be like, yo, Daddy Nintendo, please do something about Power World. This game is completely, copying you. It's ruining everything. I'm like, you're a grown man. Get up off your knees. Second of all, Nintendo has billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. Nintendo knows that the game exists. And the funniest thing is, so many grown men, unhinged grown men, have been starting to send death threats directly to the creator of the game and other people that worked on it. They went in so much to write to Nintendo that Nintendo had to give a response. Let me see if I can just type that in. Let me see. Because Nintendo did basically give a response in a sense stating that, hey, we know that Power World exists. We're looking into it. Anytime that a company tells you that we're looking into it, pretty much nothing ain't about to happen. Like I said, they know that it's there. You just got a lot of grown ass dudes that are completely unhinged. Let me see. So you got from PC Gamer, right? This is what they said. The former Pokemon legal chief states that Power World looks like the usual rip-off nonsense I would see 1,000 times a year. And he stated that I'm surprised it got this far. Like I said before, ain't nothing about to happen. If something was going to happen, it would have happened. The only thing that Nintendo has, in a sense, done is that when a modder came out with a mod where you could put Pokemon skins on the pals, right? And on the characters. So you had Ash, Misty, Team Rocket, and Pikachu. You had all of that stuff in there. Nintendo was like, oh, nope, you can't do that, right? Again, that's a Nintendo property. You're actually using something that they made and created that we all know is theirs. And they were like, yeah, you can't use that. This is specifically our property. You can't do that. Power World sold 8 million copies. Nintendo is not sending out a cease and desist. This game is literally different from Pokemon. You got survival aspects when it deals with food and water. You got shelter, building. You got the threats of humans directly out there, as well as pals that are aggressive that will sit up there and fight you as well. You got a whole full-fledged open world. It's 4 players. You can both capture, you can tame, you can make the pals work, and you can also sit up there and carve them up for food as well. Again, there's a lot of stuff in here that is not Pokemon. I would liken Power World more to a Digimon-esque type of deal, and that's a lot of the reasons why people happen to like Power World, is because Digimon, I like Digimon due to the effect that it was real, in a sense, that every decision that you made had a consequence, and that you could potentially die in the digital world as a human. You could potentially die in the digital world as a Digimon, right? Pokemon, don't none of that stuff happen. Also, let me put this to an effect. Anytime you defeat a Pokemon, even if you're not able to capture it in a Pokemon game, you don't see a body, you don't see nothing of that Pokemon, right? It's as if it never even existed. Power World, what some people have not noticed yet, is if you decide to take out a pal, right, and you leave whatever on the ground, let's say if it was like some food or something like that, like parts that came from like the pal, right? Because when you take them, when you kill them, they turn into like little bits of food, like giant pieces of ham, steak, whatever it is. If you got any type of predator pals, such as a wolf, a tiger, a bird, or some type of Aerodactyl, whatever you want to sit up there and call it, it'll come down from whatever area that it's in. It'll come directly over to that body and it'll start eating. Pokemon doesn't do that. You would never see that happen or take place in Pokemon. Again, you have a lot of unhinged grown men hanging off the nuts of Nintendo at this moment in time, asking for their daddy to fix this situation and saying how wrong it is that they're able to do this. They're taking money from you. And I want to note to people, Nintendo is the same people that has a fan base for Smash Brothers. I'm not sure if you know what Smash Brothers is, right? Smash came out back in like the 64 era and whatnot or whatever, right? So it's an old game. So people who are of now are smart enough, like, yo, we're going to create like some servers and we're going to do online tournaments for this game. Nintendo was like, you created servers to run our game and we didn't do it. You're running tournaments on our games that we didn't sit up there and create. You're using our property to do anything fun. Cease and desist. Nintendo has literally put out cease and desist orders, stopping people from doing what it is that they want to sit up there and do with something that they love. Nintendo created something that people love so much that they want to do something that obviously the company doesn't want to do. And Nintendo's like, no, you can't have no fun here. This is the same company that people are body blocking for and crawling to try to have Power World out of the situation. Let me explain to you what this is. Grown men are mad at the fact that everything that they always wanted Pokemon to do, including myself, it never happened. Nintendo opted never to do it. The closest that they got is 2 of the games that they got on the Switch. But even the games on the Switch are not close to what Power World is. Power World is a combination of a variety of things. Like I said, I'm not sure if people actually paid attention. Power World has Devil Fruit. If you don't know what Devil Fruit is basically a type of fruit from a fruit or a treasure from One Piece. One Piece is a Japanese anime dealing with pirates and trying to find One Piece, right? So if you eat a devil fruit, depending on what the fruit is, you'll get a certain type of ability. It could be to control thunder, it could be rubber, it could be all of this, right? So when you go out throughout the world of Power World, either if you happen to defeat an enemy on a rare occasion, one might maybe drop, or you might see one on the ground. But usually these devil fruits in Power World are on trees that are part tree and part something else that is glowing from that tree in order to enable those fruits the capabilities to give those abilities. Once you take those fruits, you're able to then apply those fruits to your pals and give them a crazy amount of abilities that they normally would not even have. That whatever your pal is born with, if it's light, it's not going to have, dark type abilities, leaf abilities, water abilities. I literally got a pal right now that has about probably like 15 to 20 abilities. It's been a long time since I've played Pokemon, but to my knowledge, from when I last played Pokemon, you only had a certain amount of abilities that you could actually allow a Pokemon to have. You had to start deleting some. From the last time that I played. Like I said, things could be a little bit different, but I never remember having a list of 15 moves on one Pokemon. Never remember having it. I'm coming back from the Game Boy Color days. So I'm just, putting that directly out there. Again, like I said, it's completely crazy to see stuff like this happen. Completely crazy to see grown men do this. And I'm like, wow. And then, like I said, much love and success to whoever created Power World, because from the numbers that they put out there, I think they said that they spent somewhere in between like 10 to 70K to basically make Power World or something like that, some number like that. And then they sold 8 million copies. 8 million copies. And then let me see if I can get the other numbers. How much did Power World make on Steam? Let me see. Woo! Okay, so when you go to online, and I typed it came up as how many copies of Power World was sold on Steam, right? They say either way, Keeley has noted that 7 million copies were sold on Steam. That amounts to approximately 189 million in sales, which means that Power World is more popular than Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, and PUBG Battlegrounds. Wow. And then they later said, while impressive, these sales figures pale in comparison to Nintendo's monster collectors. Firstly, let's just get this straight. This game that just came out within a few days sold 7 to 8 million copies and basically made close to $200 million. That's beyond impressive. That is beyond impressive. They said who made Power World? They said Pocket Pair Inc. There are even speculations that the rival might have used AI to create its assets. Developer Pocket Pair released Power World in mid-January, and it went on to sell a whopping 7 million copies on Steam in just 3 days. Yo, to sell something out like that in 3 days, that is crazy. That is crazy. Completely crazy. Like I said, kudos to them. They did a hell of a job. And like I said, I've been pretty much low life in that game. of being a gamer. No life in that game. Having immense fun. Talking to other people that have, played the game as well. Everybody sharing their experiences and, and stuff like that. Like I said, it's dope. I feel like it's something dope for the culture. And like I stated to people before, I feel like competition is a very great thing. And it forces changes and it forces moves. The only thing that Nintendo, realistically, if they're going to take any course of action, Nintendo need to start, getting their stuff up. You need to start coming up with better games. Stop coming out with the same games that you've been coming out with since 1996. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. Come out with brand new stuff. Come out with more thought-provoking stuff. Like I said, if Legend of Zelda back in 2017 could come out with Breath of the Wild, that was, for me, that was one of the most ambitious Legend of Zelda games that I've seen of current generation, right? And then on top of that, the team there that was working on Legend of Zelda, they was like, you know what? We're going to let this cook. We're going to add on to it and make it better. There's rare times that a company can sit up there and be like, you know what? We did great on the first game. We're going to come back and do better on the second game, and we're going to have that be a great game as well. They came back and made Breath of the Wild 2. And they built on top of the foundation of Breath of the Wild. And that game is in the same arena, if not higher than the original. You don't see stuff like that happen because usually when they come out with a first game, the first game is great. A lot of other games after that are trash. But they did that. So if the team that worked on Legend of Zelda can sit up there and do that, Pokemon needs to do that. It's been how many years that you've been doing Pokemon? 20 plus years that we've been getting these games? And it's pretty much relatively the same. The only time that like they've technically stepped out of the box a little bit when it came to like Pokemon Unite. And they stepped into that because they realized that there was an aspect of like a mobile, type of thing that they could potentially do with it. We're just going to test it out here to see what basically takes place. But again, Nintendo would never bring out anything on mobile because they want all the money specifically coming back to them. They're not about really, third party anything. Even though I would just go out on a limb and say this, if at a point in time that Nintendo decided to do a business deal with Microsoft, they would make a lot of money. If at any, I'll just put one game out there. If at any moment in time Nintendo was like, yo, we're going to try something out, we're going to sell it on the console, right? We're going to split the revenue, but we're going to see how this works out. We're going to basically, and this is just me just putting some out there. If they were to put Mario Kart on Xbox, have people buy it, have people play it online, and on top of that, allowed cross-play between Nintendo Switch and Xbox, that would be huge. Nintendo would see so much money. They would get so much respect from doing something like that. This would be something that would be unforeseen, something that people would have never thought was like the amount of money that Nintendo would actually make from that would be crazy. From just that one partnership with a game. Because again, you have the online capabilities, which are endless. You could just keep coming out with DLC on maps for Mario Kart. Like I said before, they could easily do stuff, but Nintendo, it's very archaic. It lags behind. It doesn't want to take a step outside of the box because Nintendo is afraid. And that's the thing that is going to hinder progress. This is the reason why you have something such as Pal World that is able to come directly out. Right? It's crazy. DSA wanted to sit up to watch. Timothy said, I should be telling Nintendo that I'm a shareholder, damn it. Nintendo don't care. If you don't got like millions and billions invested, Nintendo does not, they are not taking a phone call or an email. They do not care. You say, yeah, that's why Smash tournaments are slim and hard to get into. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and like I said, I like Smash for what it is. I love it. That's a whole nother community by itself where, and again, my condolences to those out there who are Smash fanatics. There's always been conversations out there in the Smash community that, Smash is a fighting game and it's on the same tier level as a Street Fighter, a Virtual Fighter, as a Tekken, and certain other things. And I'm just going to tell people it is not that. It is not on the same level of those type of games. Like I said, I respect it. I respect the game. I respect what it is because I played it, right? At a moment in time. But it is not in the same area. So this is why when we have stuff like Evo and we have different tournaments and different things like that, this is why Smash is not up there. And if they do run tournaments, the Smash tournaments are at a what was it, like $50 or $100 pot? It's nothing that's ever up there, right? And like I said, no disrespect to Smash, but I can't sit up there and compare Smash to a Tekken. Like, I'm not sure if people seen Tekken 8, the mechanics that are in there, the footsies and the okies and everything that you can, in a sense, do specifically in there and whatnot. Smash is not on. Smash has some stuff, but it's not on the same level as a Tekken, as a Virtual Fighter. Like I said before, the skill gap on like a Virtual Fighter on a Tekken, vast is universe is different. Its universe is different. And like I said, a lot of people don't understand it because they don't play, a lot of other games. I just had to put that out there because conversations. Conversations that people have. To me, Nintendo needs to get they ish together. I'm invested in them. The next game best be popping. Nintendo can figure out something. They can get something together. They can get something happening. Timothy said it's the same 4 moves per Pokemon. Yeah, it is. It is. Timothy said, I'm here. What I miss? Not much. It's pretty much the same thing as it is every single day. It's pretty much the same thing. I'm just pretty much talking about this one game right here where people are completely unhinged when it deals with Power World and stuff like that. Tim said they're almost competing with Fortnite. Pikachu best do something strange for some change. It's crazy. That is crazy. We got Hack said Pokemon Red and Blue Master Race. See, I grew up in the era, but I didn't start off with Red and Blue. I had Yellow, so I was one of the few out there. I had my see-through purple Game Boy, the coldest Game Boy color to me, the see-through purple, and then I had Pikachu. Like I saw like the red and the blue versions up there. I'm like, everybody got these. Let me sit up there because like I said, I grew up on Pokemon. I'm like, yo, I'm Ash Ketchum. Let me sit up there and turn my hat sideways. Let me get this Pikachu edition. And I went with that. And I want y'all to know, starting off with Pikachu is tough. It is very, very tough starting off with Pikachu when you first get the game. When you got like, let's say like a Charmander or you got a Bulbasaur, I mean, it's doable because you can pretty much handle, a lot of stuff specifically out there. Like, try doing some electric music. Like, you're just starting off, right? And you're dealing with not what was the name of it? I forgot. It's been so long since I played Pokemon. I know you got Caterpie and Butterfree. I forgot the name of it, but the second evolutionary form that you got when it deals with like Venomoth and when it deals with Butterfree, right? And they specifically keep doing the move called Harden. Just imagine trying to start off with an electrical Pokemon and this is what you got to fight. That fight took so long to sit up there and get through. Like it was not even like it was just ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It was 100% ridiculous. King Black said, I started with gold and silver. Wow. That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, that's the 2000s right there. Because I remember when the Bad Boys came out, I might still have the book for gold and silver because I remember I bought the guide because back in those days I used to buy the guides for stuff because I like the artwork and I just like to read up on the games and have something to read just because. And I'm like, wow. Yeah, thank you. Metapod and Cocoon. I swear to goodness, for the life of me, I can see what it is that they look like. I just couldn't remember their names. That's how long it's been since I've played Pokemon. Like I said, that shows. But like I said before, that was a tough battle. Like I said, anybody that had red or blue, or even if you had gold or silver, y'all had easy work out there. If you had a Charmander, you going against grass types, you knocking everything out. You don't got to deal. You don't got to worry about the bug trainers, and you got easy work. You're setting everything ablaze. You're going right to Verenia City. You're going right out there, no problems. But it's crazy. It is crazy. It's tough work though. But like I said, shout out to those who had the Pikachu edition, like me. It was hard out there. It was few of us out here, treading through that grasslands with that Pikachu. Hard battles out there, and then having to fight a Raichu. Oh boy, good lord. And then knowing the fact that Pikachu did not want to sit up there and evolve, and that was the one thing I did like about the game. It was like it technically stayed true to the theme of the show. Is like if you tried to hand your Pikachu the stone to evolve, he would not. I think he actually slapped it out of your hand or something. It was something or rather that or that he did. Like he was not evolving. It don't matter what you did. So if you wanted to evolve that Pikachu, you had to sit up there and get a whole nother one and then evolve that one into a Raichu. But like I said, what was it? Hold on. You said John Doe said Gengar and Machamp was my guy. Yo, I like a lot of other Pokemon too. Trust me, I had some teams. I wanted a version of Machamp who did not have the belt. I wanted him to just because they said with his 4 arms he would be strong enough to basically lift a mountain, right? That the reason he has the belt is to basically hold his strength in check. I want a scene where you would have a Pokemon that ended up breaking that belt. I would want to see what would happen, because basically you're telling me he's the Incredible Hulk in a sense with those 4 arms. That's basically what you're telling me. He's being held back in power because of that championship belt. Crazy. Hack said gold and silver. You lost. This man said we don't want your kind around here. Oh, yo. That is crazy. Oh, man. Timothy said Alakazam and Gyarados. Oh, yeah, Alakazam is dope. Alakazam is dope. Like some of the Pokemon of the future where you got 2 different types in one, like you got Ghost Grass and all. Like that's some dope type stuff. That is some dope type stuff. But I'm going to tell you this. What is inevitably going to happen on Power World is that as they keep going with these updates, you're going to have some similarities in that as well. You're going to have double types. I mean, you already got them in here, inevitably, just like you had them in Digimon. You had some Digimon that were fire, virus, or whatever it was. Like you had a lot of different things directly out there, right? You had 2 different types in one Digimon, or you might have had a rare occurrence of some other type of stuff there too. So Power World is going to follow suit with everything else that is, came out. You're going to have solo types, fire, ice, water, leaf, dark, and then you're going to have combinations of different types. Now, the intricate part for Power World, where this is going to sit up there and start stepping that up, is when because you can breed on Power World as well, right? So when you breed on Power World, you don't make the same PAL in a sense. Like let's say if you bred a wolf with a fire type, and that wolf was ice, you would technically feel like that would make a fire ice version of, let's say the wolf. Like if the wolf has a stronger stats than the other parent, right? Whatever the stronger stats are, that's going to override that, and it's going to make whatever the stronger stat is. That's not specifically what happens. So what they could do in an update, it would probably be a major update and overhaul, they could specifically decide to have the breeding where you could breed certain things, but you would just make sure that whatever it is that you truly wanted would be the dominant of the 2 breeds, along with the abilities as well, so that you got a better chance of basically coming out with said thing. And then on top of that, the intricate part is that normally how the pals look, they would be reflective of the traits from their parents. So if somebody is dark and grass, you will start to see dark energy mixed in with a little bit of green somewhere on like the flames or the abilities, the eyes, or something like that. Like I said, this game can do some stuff that Pokemon is not even near. It could really do a tremendous amount of stuff. It really could. So, like I said, that 189 or 2 million, however you want to sit up there and slice it, they got the money to sit up there and really start cooking on this game to make some things transpire and happen. And if people hate Power World now, they're going to hate it in the future. Like I said, if they keep going the way that they're going, releasing updates, fixing bugs, and then they're introducing stuff, dealing with the roadmap, is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. John Doe said, nah, my thing was going against the Elite Four and finding out it was actually 5 people I had to battle. Oh, yeah, because you had the final dude at the you had yourself or whatever. Basically, you had Red at the end of the whole game, right? That you had to sit up there and face. It was like, how did that basically work out? You said these were the elite ones, but then you had somebody else that was basically above them. And I'm like, you had the battle Red. I'm like, oh, snap. And that dude, his Pokemon were tuned. In some instances, they might 1 or 2 shots. I'm like, hold up. I'm like, wait a minute. We are not prepared for this. We got to go back and level up. King Black said it took me all day to rebuild my base on Power World. I just sat up there and you said Power World has over 1,800 combinations. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't think and Pokemon has a lot of different stuff, but you don't have combinations like that on Pokemon. You don't you're not breeding a Gyarados and a Clefairy to make a Garafairy. Like you're not you're not sitting up there doing that, right? So, like I said, Power World, and we only have like 111, right? Pals at this moment in time. Oh boy. And they said during the updates they're going to add more pals directly on there as well, on top of other stuff when it deals with like the building and the weapons, and they're going to add other bosses directly. Like I said, it's crazy. Like this game is completely crazy. If you have not checked out Power World, if you have not played it yet as a gamer, I would tell you go check it out, go play it. I don't care if you got Steam or if you got Xbox, go check it out, go play it, have fun. And like I said, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, when your base got destroyed, because I already told you yesterday how the flame, like this is the other thing too. So on Power World, once you start reaching certain levels, you will get raided, right? So NPCs of both pals and humans, or a combination of both, can come through and raid your specific area. All of my stuff was made out of wood, mind you. So I had fire pals, enemies that came through, and I had humans with flamethrowers. Yo, when I mean that they torched all my base that was made of wood down to the ground, they torched it. That area, I'm like, yo, I can no longer basically use this area as it used to be. I was so mad. I stayed up, I think, for about an hour or 2 plus, and I built a whole brand new base out of stone. Like I literally took over a waterfall. I'm probably going to build over the little pool, the little pond that's directly over there. Like I'm making sure. And as soon as I basically built that base, I have not seen them try to roll through. And I got like double walls that are there. So it's like even if they make it through one wall, they're going to have to try to make it through the second one to even get directly into the base where everything in a sense is. Oh man, like I said, people got to check it out. It's a very fun game. It'll keep you very much entertained. And again, if you got family or kids or whatnot, Power World is 4-player. On Steam, I think that's you can do 32 players on a server. So there's a variety of options there. You can also control the difficulty of the server, how the game works, and different things like that. So if you got some people out there that like survival and they want to make the game as difficult as possible, where they really gotta grind for stuff, you can do that before you start the game or whatnot or whatever. You can go through and swap out, some of the settings, and you can do a lot of those things. So, like I said, people need to check it out. A lot of these grown beard necks need to stop being haters. They just need to admit that this game did what it is that they wanted Nintendo to do for so long, but opted never to do. That's all it is. Timothy said, breed a Gengar and a Machamp would be OP. Yeah, that'd be crazy. That would be crazy. You got a ground type that is a ghost. So you got super strength on top of psychic abilities. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, how he would also look too would be insane. Like, imagine, what would he have? He would be humanoid type with like 4 arms and like a semi-transparent appearance. I don't know. I can imagine how it would look. It would be pretty dope. That'd be pretty dope. But that's pretty much. I just wanted to end the stream on something vastly different from the rest of the videos. And again, something that I'm interested in because I know we got some gamers here. Like I said, it's only a few of us here, so I also enjoy talking about this stuff, as well and whatnot and whatever. Hack said, but wouldn't they be 2 times weakness to psychic types? Possibly. I mean, like, when you have double types, though, you are stronger against certain things that ordinarily you would be severely weak to. So it's like, certain things you might be more weaker to, and other things you might almost be immune to, where you're not really, worried about that. I think because you got something like that with like Steelix, because isn't like Steelix that's like a ground metal type or something like that? So it's like that right there is, and then on top of that, the size of Steelix is ridiculous. Like that, he dwarfs Onyx. But yeah, like I said, it's some pretty dope stuff directly out there. So if anybody out there has Steam, please, I implore you to go check that game out. It is a very, very fun game. You can also sit up there and play that with families as well. Don't matter if you got kids or a significant other that might be a gamer as well. Y'all can both sit up there and play that. Or if you like to just play stuff solo, you can especially, do that as well. Any which way you want to sit up and slice it, you can have fun all the way around. But Timothy said a negative times, a negative is a positive. Go with it. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's bars. But wanted to end it on something that I'm interested in, since I always talk about the usual everyday type of stuff. One of these days, you'll probably see me pop in on live stream, and I'll actually just play Power World from my Xbox. That'll just be the live stream. I'll probably just be sitting up here talking. I'll be looking at the comment section here and there, and then just sitting up here going through Power World, and y'all watching me probably attempt to defeat some bosses and die 18 times. Hack said, Pink said, hit the like button. Hack said, Steelix is 2 times weak to fire types because fire melts steel beams. But he's also ground, though. Because like if you go back to like think about like Onyx, you try to use like flamethrower on Onyx, it's not going to be effective like that stone. Like you're not, in a sense, burnt. That's so weird. That is very weird. Now I expected, like, let's say if you had somebody that was like magnetic, I think, what was it, like Magnezone or something like that? Let's say like you got a Pokemon with like magnetic abilities. Yeah, I would expect somebody like Steelix to be severely weak. Like you're just gonna get like jacked because you don't have you can't do nothing. First, ground moves ain't gonna work because it's floating in the air, so that's gonna whiff. So you would actually have to do like an actual physical, body type of move and hope that does something. But realistically, if you're steel and you're dealing with something that can control metal, and they can control like a magnetic field, you're useless. Like you're not doing nothing. It's like Magneto versus Iron Man. Iron Man literally has a full suit made out of metal. On top of the blood in his body has iron. So you're not doing nothing. Wolverine versus Magneto. You're not doing nothing unless you catch him off surprise. And if you catch him off surprise, he's ripping that metal directly out of your body. So good luck. Have a good day. Nice try. Come back again. You know? So realistically, when I look at Pokemon battles, when it deals with certain stuff, I look at it from that perspective. I'm like, certain battles just shouldn't even be happening. Because that's just an automatic, KO, loss, that type of stuff. Pink says, Seji, when you have a chance, check out Midnight Evil is also on Steam. Midnight Evil. What? Why does that sound a little bit familiar? Let me see. Midnight Evil. Oh, you're talking about, okay. I know what you're talking about. I think as soon as I typed that in, Corey Kenshin came directly up as well. So I'm like, that dude obviously played it. he obviously did some videos. He obviously, played that game as well too. Those good old horror games. The main things Tippy always be talking about. Such you play a horror game. Nobody wants to sit up and see Pokemon. Right? That's what Tippy likes to do. AKA the Simmer in the group. Would I play? I would probably. I guess one, like I said, one of these days, I'll probably sit up there and check out and play some horror, type games. One of these days, just sit up there and live stream that and play that. Tim said, no, I think they changed types. I think he's just still now. Okay. Well, I thought he was still in ground because originally you got Onyx that is ground, and then he evolves. Like I said, I might have had it, misconfused because I thought he counted as two types. So again, it's been a minute since I played. Ty said, "Hope you're better at Power World than you are at Remnant." Ty, because you're talking a lot of trash right now. If you've played Power World, how far have you made it, sir? That's what I want to know. I the funniest thing about Remnant is I die a lot because I just sit up there and explore, and I work with like a variety of different builds, and I try out different stuff. So in a lot of games, because I'm trying out stuff, I'm going to die. I can, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I can sit up there and tell you I'm going to die a lot because I'm going out there trying to experiment and try a lot of stuff that other people ain't doing. Like I try to stay away from videos on YouTube where people are like, yeah, Remnant 2, this is the most overpowered build to sit up there and yada yada. I'm like, man, that's just like, you're not going to have fun. It's like, all right, so you got the most powerful build. So basically, what you're saying is all the rest of the items are trash. There's no reason to look at those. Just only use this build to basically solo and go through all of the toughest difficulty. The end of the game is done. I'm like, if you basically take that route, that means that there's no reason to play the game. There was no reason to collect any other items or to try to go through, any other content. Or like I said, for me, I feel like that destroys, the game when you look at it from that aspect of, when I look at certain videos like that. But again, I gotta experiment. That's that's what I love doing. That's what I love doing. Timothy said, bro, Iron Man would be a squeeze lemon to Magneto. Yep. Pink said, me and my son both stay screaming on this game. Oh yeah, I believe it. Yeah, those horror games are not a joke. And then, this is what I want to tell you. Pink, one day is going to be a day where you sit up there and get like the VR. Just imagine playing VR. So you got headphones on and your visor, and then you got the controller in your hand. Oh, you're playing one of those horror games and you're really into it, and then somebody comes up to you and taps you, you're swinging. I'm telling you, I don't care who you are, you're automatically swinging, you're throwing, and you're dropping something. I promise you. That is what is going to happen. I see those reactions all the time when people play like VR and play games like that. It's hilarious. Hilarious. K5, what is up? What is up, brother? What is going on? K5 said, what's up, Seji? Play some Jedi Survivor. I don't think we got that on Game Pass. I don't think we got that on Game Pass. You know what? I'll put it to you like this. I'm going to figure out a day where I'm going to just live stream me playing. I gotta make sure that the sound is working because for whatever reason, sound didn't specifically catch and work how it was supposed to work. But I think that was because I was trying to use something else to live stream. So I would have to make sure my OBS on the computer is set up properly so that it'll capture and send everything directly to you guys. But once I have that stuff like straight, and I know that is straight, I'll sit up there and just stream me playing a game. So hopefully, people will look at the title, and I won't have people popping in, sit up or saying like, all right, I just clicked. What's the topic of today? Topic is video games. I ain't trying. Nobody looking confused. I thought this was a political channel. It is, but this is just what I want us to do. I feel like it's gonna happen. Ty said, "I'm too broke to get it." Objection, Your Honor. This man isn't real. All I hear is excuses. Look at this. Look at it. Now we're just using my lines. This is crazy. This is crazy out here. This is crazy. But no, I forgot you don't got Xbox either. Damn, I forgot about that. Okay. I will keep that in mind. So yeah, I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna play some games to show off, some different stuff that people, might be interested in or might not specifically know about. Because I play, different games on Steam and whatnot or whatever. So we'll happen to check those things out. Timothy said, I've been avoiding Tekken 8 vids, so no spoilers. Oh, you talking about for the story? I got you. Pink said, nope, no VR. Just wait. It's going to happen. It's going to happen one of these days, and you're going to be playing VR. It's going to be hilarious. Now, you think that you be having fun as a family just doing the games normally? Oh, wait until you throw VR directly into the mix. Whole different types of laughter that's going to be happening. Whole different types. It's going to be hilarious. Tippy said, can you show us what you're currently playing on Xbox? Power World, Tippy. That is it. At this moment, kid you not, the amount of hours I have spent on that, I'm just currently playing Power World. That is it. That is all I am playing at this moment in time. Tim said Resident Evil 4 VR is what I need in my life. Yeah, those VR games, regardless of how people feel about the graphics, those games, they're going to be pretty nice in the future. Give it another like 10 to 15 years max. Watch what VR is going to look like. It's going to be to the point where VR is going to be on cell phones. It's going to be inescapable. VR is going to be on normal everyday glasses that you're able to just like pick up and buy, probably for, $90, $100, maybe at max $200. Like I said, the technology is going to be easy to be made, and people are just going to be able to get it. That's going to be the driving force on people getting directly into VR and augmented reality. Once the technology is convenient where people can just drop $100 and just get it, everybody's going to have it. Because just think about it. If you can get a pair of augmented reality or VR glasses for about $100, $150, I'm pretty sure you'll get it. Because if everybody looks at their cell phone right now, think about all the money you spend on your cell phone. Some people have spent more than $200, $300, $400, $500. Some people have spent more than $1,000 on their phone. So $100 to $150, maybe $200 ain't nothing, right? So, like I said before, moment of time and prices get down, it's over. Tippy said, what are your thoughts on Vince McMahon? The thoughts on that is, let me just briefly, let me just highlight that. I know Triple H had to make a good old comment about that. So let me just get the picture up there so people know what it is that I'm referring to and talking about. I'm just going to briefly talk about this for a brief little bit and then get directly off of the stream. So let me just highlight Vinnie Mac right here. So if people don't know what basically took place, we have Vinnie Mac, aka Vince McMahon, who was the head of WWE or WWF as it was known at one point in time. And there's been some allegations levied against him dealing with adult toys and a woman and fists. And like I said before, I have to look at everything. It used to be at a point in time as a guy that I was like, yo, you got to sit up there and take this stuff serious. You got to really look. And I'm like, all of the stuff that I've heard so far about defecation and all of these. I'm like, you're not telling me that people were just holding you down for this. You're not telling me that people forced you to sit up there. You're not about to. Nope. Like I said, I need more directly into this. This is what I need. I need to start hearing some of the men that she's had relationships with and the things that they have specifically done. I need to start hearing some other type of stuff because this sounds like some stuff that she is specifically into. And maybe she didn't get the money or she didn't get the job position that she thought that she was supposed to sit up there and get. And now she decided, okay, I'm about to come out and I'm about to sit up there and say all the things we innocents done. And I'm going to paint myself out to be the victim or whatnot or whatever. Like I said, I just look at a lot of these things now as like money grabs. I look at a lot of these things at this moment in time as money grabs because I'm like, yo, so you had the time is up. You had the Me Too movement to say a whole bunch of things to bring all of this stuff to light, but you opted not to. Those were pivotal times where if a woman said anything, a dude was losing everything. He was losing jobs, corporation. He was losing everything. But I'm like, so in 2024, you opt to basically start talking about this now when it's pretty much the end of the road. I'm like, okay, all right, I guess. Like I said, guys need to do a better job at the women that they deal with. That's the best way that I can sit up there and put it. Guys have to do a better job with the women that they decide to deal with on those type of levels. If you do, especially if you do with money, you better be dealing with somebody in the adult world of the entertainment industry. You better be going there. It makes no sense for you to be dealing with some of these ordinary women directly out here because the moment in time that stuff ain't going how it is that they want stuff to go, oh, I'm about to sit up there and make myself the victim. Like I said, you need somebody that's on the exact same page as you. I don't care what it is that you like to do behind closed doors. I ain't even caring about that. Point of the matter is, if you are a man with money, you got to sit up there and be smarter. The only person that Vince has to blame for this is himself because he allowed this to sit up there and take place. Him and the other execs. Like I said, that was on them. You know, Tippy said I like playing video games with controllers. Some VR is cool, like Under the Sea VR, Realistic Dinosaur VR. K5 said VR and your glasses. Yo, they will be hacking your cyber brain after that. We're getting to cyberpunk. We're getting there. Timothy said, is anyone really surprised about Vince McMahon? Nah. Like I said, we knew about Vince McMahon when he had certain things dealing with like incest, where there were certain storylines that was going to deal with like him and his daughter, crazy type stuff. Like I said, go back and look at the rated R era. Like that was a time, like how a lot of people say that was a time to be alive. Yeah, that was the time to be alive. Like stuff that was happening then, you could never do any of that stuff now. And that's what makes that stuff, so much more enjoyable to look back and actually watch. Because you could literally see a whole different time where things were or might have been offensive to people, but people still found or got the enjoyment directly out of it. That was the entertaining, factor directly out of that. People just wanted to be offended, at that point, right? And now it's just at a point in time where people are just offended and they were just like, well, I'm offended, I'm canceling you, I'm about to shut you up, I'm about to make sure you don't even. It's like a whole nother type of like arena. And this is why you don't have the movies that you have. This is why you don't have the television shows and the comedies or the comedians that you have at this moment. Because can't nobody do or say anything. Because the moment in time that people do or say anything, somebody's offended and you're about to lose everything for it. Like I said, that's a type of control and fear that is used in order to make sure that people stay in line and do the things that people want them to do. But people don't even see it. But people will soon see it once the government starts doing the exact same thing. And like I said, I don't want to hear no crying. I'm like, well, everybody loved cancel culture. Everybody was agreeing and completely fine with it. So now the government is going to cancel your freedom of speech and all these other types. So, like I said, it is what it is. Tippy said he named his toys after his favorite wrestlers. Yeah. I wouldn't put it past him. Like I said, you had and I love Rowdy Piper. That dude basically had on blackface where he would talk to his white side and then he would talk to his black side. So, like I said, this is Vince McMahon. This is the writing. This is, during those eras and stuff like that. It is what it is. So again, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. What was it? They had a group in wrestling called Crime Time, and they were black. How could anybody be surprised? How could anybody be surprised? Crime Time. Come on, guys. Come on. And then you're dressed in like the most quote unquote like urban attire that's directly out there, most hood type of attire, and then you got somebody speaking a certain type of. Come on, you playing into every single stereotype known to man. Like I said, it is what it is. Tippy said, "Well, I heard the same thing in the '90s from men. Yeah, the King's Kid, what is upset, especially since he was accused once before. I'm not surprised." Timothy said, "Wait, he controlled the WWE story. Oh no, yeah, they'll be back there writing. Yeah, this dude came up with a lot of stuff. He comes up with the names for like the wrestlers as well too. Like, go back and listen to Hulk Hogan tell his story on why it is that he had to basically switch his name when he left that organization. He had to basically swap it up because Vince, basically had that name. Trust me, every wrestler's name, them bad boys are trademarked by that company. Owns them bad boys. Timmy said, "Well, Seji, there are men with power can do what they want to people because they can throw a huge amount of money at you. Money you've never had in your life is crazy. But it's only crazy if people decide to accept it. That's the crazy part. Regardless on if a man has power or not and money, if a dude throws money at you, you can walk away. You don't have to take it. But you got a lot of people that's like, well, I've never seen this before in my life. I'm just going to sit here and take it. That's on them. That is on them. Like, if at a point in time, you decide to still be with a person, like let's say you inevitably ended up meeting up with somebody that is like a drug dealer, and they showed you and told you that they're like a drug dealer. If you opt to still be around that person, you can't blame that drug dealer if you get caught in crossfire and all this other type of stuff. If you don't be quiet, be quiet. Be quiet. Anyways, that was my cap. But you can't sit up there and decide to get mad at the drug dealer when you end up being collateral damage or you're in the hospital. It's like, oh, it's the drug dealer's fault. Like the people that you opted. He showed you who he was and what he was about in the world that he lives in. You still opted to be in the presence of all of that. That's on you. So like I said, it might sound a little bit harsh, but at the end of the day, the woman that is a part of like this whole thing, she opted to be a part of this whole thing. Nobody forced her to still be a part of the corporation, to be still a part of the business. She could have found a job elsewhere. She could have done anything else in the world that she wanted to sit up there and do, but she opted to still be there. You're not going to sit up here and magically tell me that there were some magical stipulations on why it is that she couldn't basically run from the situation, that she couldn't subtract herself from the situation, that she couldn't divide from the situation, that she couldn't opt to do something else, away from the whole corporation, away from Vince McMahon and all these other people. Like, that's crazy. Timothy said, not enough money for me to be Crime Time or Monkey Play. Yeah, I forgot. What was that one dude? I forgot what he was. And he was supposed to be from like the hardened streets of, was it The Real Dream Hakeem or something like that? He was supposed to be like from the hard streets of like Detroit. And whenever they showed a scene, they showed like abandoned buildings. And then this dude is like, outside in the alley just heating himself by a fire with kente cloth on. And I'm like, man, that is crazy. That is crazy. But like I said, those are the times that we were living in. Those are the times that, we were living in. Also, you got the one with Kurt Angle with Booker T's wife during the time. I'm not sure if they were actually married or whatnot, but for TV purposes, you had Kurt Angle. They made like the scene basically seem like Kurt Angle was about to do something. Like he basically was starting to take off like the his what's the name, and then he like looked around and had this look on his face and closed the door, right, to basically imply something, right? So like I said, they had a lot of stuff, and I think Vince McMahon even did it once before. He was like, "What's up, my nigga? right? He said that, and that was live. I think, did he say that? He said that to it was either Booker T or John Cena. He said it to one of them. Like I said, it was the times. That's what it was. It was like, yo, it was so crazy. Like during that time, people were like, yo, that's racist that he's doing. It was like, yo, that's crazy. He actually sat up there and said it was so crazy and shocking that it was funny. Right? Because it was just something that you would have never thought that you would have heard somebody who looks like Vince McMahon say live on the air, during an actual show. I'm like, this is crazy. Because Booker T, he lost his mind when he sat up there and said that same thing to Hulk Hogan. He was like, Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga. And then he just like grabbed his face. He was like, oh, my career is done. Oh my God, I done messed up. Oh, I went too real. Yo, if you've never seen that scene before, you gotta go back and watch both of those. You gotta watch Vince McMahon. You gotta sit up there and go back and watch Booker T when he was doing that promo talking about Hulk Hogan. Oh man, I swear to you, Booker T thought he lost everything. His life flashed. Yo, oh man, yo, let me tell you, those are some funny times. Oh man. Timothy said that's insane, but they agreed to do it. Yep. Timothy said, I remember that Christian dude that was supposed to save the WWE. Yeah, good luck with that one. Hack said, I'm not sure if this was talked about, but what are your thoughts about Ukraine and Japan? Oh, I heard about that. I heard about she won like a contest when it dealt with like beauty in Japan or whatever. I'm like, well, it is what it is. At the end of the day, they decided and they opted to go directly with that. It's the Japanese. At the end of the day, I don't know why my cat is just sitting up here looking at me like he's strange, but they decided to implement and allow that to happen. It's crazy. It is crazy how they did that. But like I said, if you are anything other than what the nationality is, you are winning. It don't matter if you're from Ukraine, don't matter if you're European. That standard of beauty is just going to sit up there and win. It don't matter. Like I said, how many times you done seen this in like African beauty pageants or pageants around the world where those people are not the demographic of the people that are specifically there, born and raised and grew up and historically. Like I said, it's crazy. Like I said, I hope Japan gets it together because they got Japanese women there that look great. There should not be a time that somebody else that is not born and raised there that can just like swoop in and be like, yeah, this is us. Nah, y'all got a problem with the black Asians there. If y'all got a problem with them, y'all shouldn't be allowing nobody. But like I said, if you are from a whole different beauty standpoint, it's going to work for you. It's going to be an all right thing, right? Let me see. Timothy said, I remember that I was long done with the WWE when that happened. Oh man, all this stuff is just is for me. It's comical for me. Mo said, yo, what's up, Mo? Mo said the Godfather had the whole train. Oh yeah, the stereotype. Pimps and prostitutes. Yep. But he had a variety of women there. So, it was all nationalities there. That's the one thing there. It was like the UN flag, directly out there when it dealt with that. It's time for the whole train. It was the times. It was the time to be alive, as some people would say. Tippy says, Seji, say it right. Say it just like Booker T. I'm not re-saying it. I already said it once, Tippy. Timothy said, wait, what did Japan do? So basically they had a contest. And it was in a sense dealing with like beauty. And a Ukrainian woman, she won over the Japanese women that are there. And I'm like, how did this even happen? Let me see. Let me just type it in. Ukraine-born Miss Japan causes outrage. That's what it is. I'm trying to see.
2024ミス日本グランプリはカロリーナさんです。やっぱり年始の
Oh, you gotta be. You know what? I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna leave that to Japan. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Shout out to the sushi though, and shout out to all the Japanese manga. Shout out to the food that y'all got there. Shout out to the language. Shout out to all of those things. Shout out to all of those things out there. Shout out to that. Y'all got it. It ain't nothing for me to say. Y'all got that. Y'all got that. Y'all got that. Y'all got that. We're gonna end it on that. We're gonna end it on that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Japan, I need y'all to Lord have mercy. All right, but yeah, we're gonna end it on that. I'm not sure if y'all seen the competition. I'm just gonna tell y'all to go look at that. Go look at that. We'll probably bring this up on another live stream in the comment sections. Oh boy, that's bad. But again, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and everybody that was here. We've been going strong for about a good 2 hours. In this live stream, talking about a variety of things, variety of conversations. Love you guys a lot, value you guys a lot. Go out there and play some video games this weekend. Are we in the weekend at this moment in time? Currently, it's the end of the weekend, so it's Sunday. So make sure you relax. Go watch a nice movie, order some Uber Eats, DoorDash, whatever. Get some Chipotle or something like that, and have at it. Play some games, watch some movies, catch up on some shows, spend time with your family. Again, much love, respect, and appreciation. If you would like to support the channel, you can do that by way of any of the links that you see directly underneath, going across the screen at this moment in time, Cash App, PayPal, or the Patreon as well. Shout out to any and everybody that has donated through way of any of those platforms at the moment in time. Love you guys, appreciate you guys, and thank you for everything that you both do, seen and unseen, every single day. And I will catch you guys on the next live stream. Wait, I actually did not edit the number on the live stream. This is supposed to be live stream number 56. Before I end this, let me just... I did my end, and I have to edit just to make sure that this saves properly on both channels. Let me just do this. I can't believe this. Gotta get better with making sure to edit these numbers. There we go. So now everything is completely saved how it's supposed to be saved. Much love. What do I normally say? Peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video. I forgot my own outro. Peace out.